Today I wanted to chat about a term that gets used a lot in strip clubs. So if you're new to the industry, there's this word for dancers that are really aggressive and that move through clubs really quickly. They're usually called sharks. And it's usually a term that's pretty derogatory. So in a locker room, you might hear something like, oh, Anna's a total shark. She took my regular last week. Or, oh, that girl totally sharked me. I went to do a stage set, and then when I came back, she and my customer were in the VIP. This term usually gets thrown around to complain about other entertainers at your club. And it's just something I wanted to talk about because it's something that I hear a lot and that I think we could really reframe. You know what? The dancers that are out there making a lot of money are never the ones who are complaining about these sharks. Like the girls that are showing up and are doing rooms every night and they don't take days off and they are always getting customers, like those difficult customers, they're not sitting around and waiting around the club complaining about how slow the night is. Because the girls that are complaining are never the girls that get called sharks. So if you're the one that's complaining about sharks every night, this might be your wake-up call. Like, it's maybe a good time to think about why you're worried about what other entertainers are doing at your club instead of about what you need to be doing to succeed. And there's a lot of reasons why you might feel like these girls are unfair or they're doing you wrong, right? But when you're realistic, you have to realize that they're taking risks that you're not taking. And it means they get to capitalize on these opportunities that you didn't see, right? Like if you sit around with a customer for an hour and a half before asking him for a dance, and then someone else comes up and asks him for a dance in the first 5 minutes and he says yes, that girl didn't do anything to you. The only person who hurt you was you because you chose to sit with that customer for an hour and a half. You chose to have drinks. You chose to not ask for that dance, right? So I want to make this video to help you break out of that mindset, because breaking out of the mindset that it's somehow wrong to be quick or somehow wrong to be aggressive is going to help you get in that top 10 or 5 or 1% of your club. And what I would encourage is for you to see what those entertainers are doing next time you're in the club. Like the girls at your club that get called sharks, watch them for a little bit and see how they move around the club. I can guarantee you those girls are not sitting around, right? They're moving to every customer. They're not stopping in between to catch a breath or grab a drink or gossip. Like they're moving from customer to customer. And sometimes they're going back to the same people 2 or 3 times in a night, right? Those girls are usually the ones that are showing up early. They're usually staying till close. They usually keep reeling in big customers. You'll see them going up and down stairs, going in and out of rooms, getting dances consistently. And when you see that, it should be an incentive to hang around with those girls, to look for other dancers that are doing what you want to be doing. Because ultimately, those are the girls that are making most of the money at your club. So now that we went over that, I really want to go over the value of sharks, like what you can learn from them, what is valuable about having them at your club. And the first one of those things is that sharks make it a lot easier for you to interact with more customers every night. Like when you have a newer dancer or someone that just wants to sit around and talk to a customer for a long time without asking for money, without asking for a tip, without working him into a room, what that means is that none of the other dancers at your club can try that customer. Everybody has to wait until that person is done to give it a go. And look, that customer might have $50 to spend at the club, or he might have $5,000 to spend at the club. But if you're not the right entertainer for him, he's not going to give you any of it, right? So sitting with him for that long only prevents someone else that might have gotten that $5,000 from him or that $50 from him, and now nobody's going to make money. Now all you're going to get is a drink and a little bit of time. So having sharks at your club helps because sharks are going to go, they're going to give that customer a fair shot, they're going to try to get that room, but if they don't, they're going to move along because they're trying to make their money, right? So now it means you have an opportunity to go talk to that customer because no one's just sitting there entertaining him for free. Another thing that sharks do that is really useful is they usually test the waters first. So if you show up to a club pretty early on, what you'll notice is usually the first wave of customers, no one will really talk to, right? Entertainers show up, they're not necessarily in the mood yet, they're not aggressively going after customers, so the customers are sitting without entertainers, the entertainers are sitting without customers. And it takes somebody to break that seal, to make sure that everyone starts interacting. And usually those are the most aggressive girls. Like the first 2 or 3 girls that start walking around the room and trying people are what are going to get the vibe going for your club. That's what starts the night off. And a lot of the times those early customers are actually going to be really good customers. So taking advice from what those dancers are doing and going after those customers is yet another thing that these more experienced dancers can teach you. On that note, I think sharks are a great resource to help you improve your hustle. So they say that you are the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And while that's true in your personal life, that can also be true in your work life. Sometimes just working with dancers that are selling more than you are is going to give you amazing ideas on how to improve your hustle. They're going to give you great lines to give to customers. You can watch the way they dance and learn maybe like a new move or a new way to ask guys to go to rooms or to do upsells. And honestly, some of the best advice I've ever gotten on sales and on club etiquette and on how to move has come from more experienced dancers that I got to work with. And from people that made sales that at the time I just didn't know how to close, right? And they knew how to close them, and just watching them close that sale, even though I didn't get that money, I got that education, and that's been more valuable to me in the long run because then I can do it over and over and over. Another thing that sharks do is they bring a culture of efficiency and speed to your club. So when you work at a club that has a good handful of dancers that are going to move really quickly and talk to every single customer, it will make you better because you're either going to have to get better or you're going to have to get out. It's the only way to compete against these dancers. And so when your competition is at a high level, when everybody shows up ready to go, looking amazing, interacting with customers in a good mood, you're going to get better at the game just by being around them. But only if you use that as an opportunity to learn. If you use that as an opportunity to complain and to talk about what they're doing wrong and to talk about what you don't like about their hustle, you're never going to pick anything up. But if you take what they're doing and you try to see ways that you can replicate it or to put your own spin on it, you're going to become 1,000 times better as an entertainer. The last thing that is really great about having sharks working at a club is that generally dancers who are succeeding at that high level respect each other, they take care of each other, they collaborate with each other, and they show up for each other when it counts. So when you're succeeding at that high level, it takes a lot of time to get that good, and you know when someone else is doing what you're doing, right? And when you see the same group of dancers at your club doing rooms together, it usually means they're working as a team. Like they've figured out a system for how to get rooms and for how to get groups of customers to stay in rooms. And that is so valuable because when you have a group of entertainers that work well together, everyone can push for tips. Everyone can push to help all the support staff at your club. Everybody can help sell bottles. And when it's a big group, the vibe is just so much easier. You know, guys, they want to impress each other. They want to show off to each other. And a lot of times you'll have a group of guys where one guy pays for an hour, then the next guy pays for an hour, then another guy pays for the next hour. And before you realize it, it's the end of the night. Right, but to do that, you have to have a good team of entertainers that's all working as a unit and working with dancers that are maybe a little bit more experienced or that have that mindset can make just such a huge difference in your money over time. Another thing that we do for each other, or that girls who are called sharks do for each other, is you can help each other out as individuals, right? So a lot of the times, if I know that one of the girls that works at my club is friendly and positive and really cool, and I can tell that one of my customers would think she was awesome, I'll bring her into a room. Because that means we can both make money. Usually the customers don't mind paying for the extra girl because it is extra entertainment and he is getting extra value out of it. And so I can help somebody I know succeed. And you know what? The next time she might come to me or she might not, but most of the time when I show someone that respect, most competitive dancers are going to do the favor back. So there have been plenty of nights where I was having a really rough night and some dancer literally saved me, like walked up to me in the middle of the club, grabbed me and said, we're going into a room, right? And if I didn't make those connections, if I hadn't done that for someone before, they would have never picked me, right? So working with other entertainers and showing that collaboration is a huge part of being competitive. Just as much as it is to look out for yourself, it's for looking out for other people that work like you. So next thing I want to cover is the difference between a shark and then someone who's just disrespectful and unprofessional and a jerk. The reason the term shark has these really negative connotations is because there's dancers that unfortunately take these really good elements, right? Like hustle or speed or efficiency, and then they mix them with just this toxic, disrespectful behavior, right? Like being really selfish or being disrespectful or being unkind. And, you know, I think different people have different lines on what they find as acceptable conduct, but the golden rule is just do for others what you would want them to do to you. So, like, if you're at a club, even if you feel like you want to be aggressive, you want to be competitive, you want to be the best, treat others with kindness. Be respectful. Don't shit talk other dancers. Aim to help other people make money. Think ahead. All of that is thinking ahead, because how you treat someone today is going to affect how they treat you tomorrow. And if you're honest with yourself, there are hundreds or thousands of people in your city that want the opportunity you have. Our job can be so amazing, and you can make so much money. You can do so much good for other people and for yourself. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect your environment and you don't respect your coworkers and you don't respect your customers, I can guarantee you that they're going to find someone else that does, that is going to take over your job. And that might take a day or a month, or it might take a few years in a club before someone realizes that that's how you're behaving. But all in all, you're just going to create a worse experience for your customers, for other dancers, and honestly for yourself. And the thing is, even if you are kind to others and you do for them what you would want them to do for you, you have to realize that not everyone is going to do that, right? So even if you're the nicest entertainer, you're the coolest girl, you have to realize that there's going to be times when someone really upsets you at the club, right? Like, I've had times where dancers have gone up to my customers and literally wedged themselves in between my customer and I and grabbed them by the crotch to try to take them into a room. And when I say my customer, I don't mean someone that I think belongs to me because he was in the club. I mean literally someone who was spending money on me and who was in the middle of going into a room with me, right? So that kind of disrespectful behavior unfortunately happens. And you know what? That entertainer, like, he didn't choose to go with her. But over the long run, over the time that I've worked at that club, it's probably cost her thousands of dollars because I don't work with her anymore. When I do rooms, I don't invite her. When I see other girls that are doing well, I don't call her over to help her out because she wasn't a respectful entertainer, right? So maybe for her, that $200 or whatever she was going to make would have been worth it. But in the long run, it's just not worth it to treat people like that. On the flip side of that, as a salesperson, you have to understand that not every interaction is going to be smooth, right? Like, sometimes you're going to get passed up. Sometimes other dancers are going to go up to a customer and he's going to like them over you, even though you spent time there already, and he's going to go with her. And sometimes you might even get kicked out of a room. I've been in rooms with two girls where a guy was just like, you know what, I'm done with you. I just want to stay with her. And that's the good side of it, right? Like, there's times where someone will do something so outlandish and so disrespectful as your coworker that you are like, oh my God, I'm about to fight this girl. Like, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, but you are really making me want to fight. But you know what? Like, if you want to be successful in this industry, you have to get over it. You have to get over it because you're not special. You are not the only person at that club that has goals. You're not the only person that has ambition. You're not the only person that has drive. And you know what? Nobody owes you anything. Not your manager, not your customers, and certainly not your competition. No one at the club owes you anything. This is about your experience. So you're the person who owes you putting in the time, putting in the work, putting in the investment, and backing yourself up. Because that's ultimately, their experience isn't about you. Only your experience is about you. So when you go in tonight, worry about you, take care of you, and you're going to see the results. And that's basically what being a shark is. So I hope that was interesting or helpful. If you have any ideas about sharks or any stories or anything outlandish that's happened to you at a club, or if you disagree with me, if you think that being aggressive or being fast-paced in that way can be harmful or it creates a worse atmosphere, or however you feel about it, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. I'm at Raxteriches on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook or Snapchat or all of the social medias. And the website is www.raxteriches.com if you want to read lots of advice for sales training, for dancers, stuff to do at the club, outside of the club, how to take care of yourself. Yeah, wish you the best. Take care.